Warning: this video contains spoilers and mildly offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey everybody, JokeFit here with another video. This time I'm bringing you guys a video just to pretty much share my thoughts and opinions on Iron Man 3. I just got back from a screening of it earlier today, and you know that feeling that you get whenever you watch a great movie, that feeling of just being very satisfied with what you saw, and just, very happy, and you feel like you spent your time wisely from seeing it? Yeah, I didn't get that feeling with Iron Man 3. I dare say this is a review because I'm probably going to be going off on a rant pretty bad here shortly, so yeah, let's get into it. Overall, I thought that the movie had some really good elements going for it, but it had just this one absolutely terrible, awful element that I absolutely hated. And I'm not one that uses the term hate very lightly. I absolutely hated this one element of the movie that pretty much brought down what could have been an amazing, fantastic Marvel movie, possibly even better than the Avengers, and reduced it to, honestly, a passable piece of crap. And I'm sorry if I'm going to use strong language in this. I'm not going to use, like the mother of all curse words and stuff, but I might use some light cursing here and there. And yes, there's definitely going to be spoilers in case I haven't already said that in the description or the title of the video. So, the movie, again, had some really great elements to it. The acting was superb as always on Robert Downey Jr.'s part. I still think, he was pretty much born to play Tony Stark. The action scenes were very entertaining, and they were very satisfying to watch. The Hall of Armor, all of his different Iron Man suits, all his different references was cool. I like that Jensen had a cameo in the flashback sequence to the New Year's Eve party. I thought that was great. Jensen, he was a great character in the first Iron Man movie, and I was very sad when he died in the beginning of that movie. So those elements were fantastic. But the one element that just absolutely dragged this movie down to hell was the villain. I stand by the belief that a superhero movie is only as good as its villain. And Shane Black screwed up the Mandarin so hard that I'm a little angry right now. I mean, it's such an incredible disservice to the character what he did. And if you guys seen the movie, then you already know, but pretty much just reducing him to, Mandarin, he's not real. It's actually just an actor being used by this stereotypical evil businessman nerd gone bad. What you were promised in the trailers? Nope, we're not gonna give that to you. He's just an actor, and actually he's a bit stupid too. So terribly disappointed with what they did. We were promised the Joker in DC terms, and what we got was Lex Luthor holding a cardboard cutout of the Joker. And I literally mean that. He's just a stereotypical evil businessman with the contrived background that we see, like, for half the comic book villains out there, of like, the superhero wronged him in the past when he was a normal human, and so now he hates the hero and stuff, and then he becomes this evil businessman who's taking these, like, injections to make him stronger and stuff. He literally is Lex Luthor, which no insult to Lex Luthor and stuff, but I wanted to see the Mandarin. I wanted this to be the big epic showdown of finally seeing Iron Man fight his arch nemesis, the Mandarin, somebody that I've been wanting to see since the first Iron Man movie. And I knew that after Jon Favreau was not selected to return as director for this movie, and Shane Black was selected, and he said that that Mandarin would not be in this movie as he was in the comics. I was still optimistic about it and stuff. Like, okay, he doesn't have to be, this a magician or sorcerer like he was in the comics so much. They can still do a great job with this. And it really was a bait and switch, honestly. The advertising for this movie is incredibly false. Ben Kingsley, is a great actor. He is a phenomenal actor. He has had amazing performances in the past. He's won Oscars for it, and deservingly so. And he could have done a fantastic Mandarin. I can't even imagine how awesome he would have been if he were actually allowed to play the Mandarin. Instead, what we got is Ben Kingsley playing an actor playing the Mandarin. What kind of BS is that? Seriously. Come on. It's an incredible missed opportunity. If they had just cut that out, that he was being used or manipulated or something, he was just a stupid actor being used by, was it Killian or something was the name of the cardboard cutout copy-paste villain. That was the main guy for this. And he's just being manipulated, and it's so frustrating, really. If they had just cut that out, I probably would have loved this movie. If we actually got the Mandarin, and I'm not asking that he would have had shooting magic out of the rings like he does in the comics, but if we had gotten him as this kind of almost Osama bin Laden terrorist leader, that would have been cool to see. That definitely would have been very cool to see. But what we get is, just honestly a bait and switch, like I said. They lure us in with the promise of this really cool, unique villain. One up there that would have been up there with the ranks of Heath Ledger's Joker. But then we get deceived. Honestly, it's a dirty tactic, really is, of promising us this very cool, very awesome villain. And then we get a generic villain. Because, you don't... I'm not a big fan of, the evil businessman stereotype villain. But, I don't totally hate it either. In fact, I think it can be used really effectively in the beginning of a superhero franchise. But for a movie that's going to be the big epic finale, the big epic conclusion to the Iron Man trilogy... I don't want to see that. Who honestly wants to see, a Lex Luthor type villain as, the big game-ending villain in the Iron Man franchise? Again, we might get more Iron Man movies in the future, but I just hope they're a heck of a lot better than this. The rest of the movie was good. It really was. I enjoyed the rest of the movie. Let's see. I enjoyed the first half of the movie up to that certain scene, which people who've watched it, And I was like, oh man, this is really cool. He's a terrorist. Using guerrilla tactics and stuff. This is gonna be really challenging villain for Iron Man to defeat. He's gonna have to use all of his skills and stuff. He's not gonna be able to just rely on the armor the whole time. He'll have to, think on the run, which he does in the first half of the movie. He's fantastic, and then as soon as we got to that stupid scene where Tony's in Killian's mansion, and he pulls back the bed sheets, and we see, probably, I guess they're prostitutes or something, but some girls in some skimpy clothing and stuff, and then we hear Ben Kingsley doing his best Cockney accent from the other room. At that moment, I was like, oh no, please tell me they're not going this route. Please tell me they're not going this route. And then he comes in, and he's pretty much playing, I forget his name, but whoever Katy Perry's old boyfriend was. They might as well have just gotten him to do the role of the Mandarin, because obviously that's what they're trying to do with the character. So yeah, the Mandarin, does not exist in this movie. All the advertising for this is false. You just end up with a generic evil businessman, Lex Luthor type villain, the very contrived origin of like, oh, he was a geeky guy who was betrayed by the superhero like long time ago, and so he turned to evil. Ooh, and just so disappointed with that. The movie itself, I guess, is still good. It had a lot of good things going for it again. Also, the post-credit scene was really entertaining, I thought. It was nice to see a cameo by Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner again, since him and Robert Downey Jr. had some very good chemistry in the Avengers movie, and see more of those two characters together, I thought was really cool. And actually, I think that would be a good idea for a possible movie in the future. Is kind of have like a Iron Man Hulk team-up movie. That'd be pretty cool, but I digress. A lot of good things were going for this movie. A lot of good elements went into it, and it could have been fantastic. And up to that midway point of the movie, I thought like, wow, this is a fantastic movie. It's amazing, it's great. I mean, I'm loving it. And I honestly, I was thinking like, man, this may be better than the Avengers even. But then they just had to do it. He had to go down that contrived, stupid plot point. Reducing the Mandarin, honestly, just taking a dump on the character. I'm glad I'm not like a huge Mandarin fan, or else I'd be really angry right now. Right now I'm just pretty much upset. And just, taking a dump on the character and all of his history in the comics and saying, oh, no, you don't get the Mandarin. What, you thought you were going to get the Mandarin? and the movie thinks it's so clever for doing that too. It's like, oh, haha, we got you. It's not really the Mandarin. The Mandarin doesn't exist. It's all just a facade. And the movie thinks it's so terribly clever because of that. It's just really, this leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It honestly does. I really do hope that Thor 2 is significantly better than this movie is, because right now I'm just honestly, it's put me down watching this movie. I honestly just don't want to think about it anymore. Just kind of push it out of mind. And as far as it stands right now, I'm definitely thinking that Man of Steel is going to win the summer blockbuster season, because Iron Man 3 was really its only major competition. I guess you could say Star Trek, but in terms of the best superhero movie of the summer, I think that Man of Steel's already got one, to be honest. And Thor 2 doesn't really even come out until like fall, and Wolverine, the previews for that just looked terribly boring. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I thought of Iron Man 3. A good movie if it weren't for the Mandarin and how bad and how incredibly terrible it was a disservice to the character. I mean, it really, really, really was. And I mean, if this had not been an Iron Man movie, if this, as for instance, say it had been like a Tom Clancy movie, and they wrote out, obviously all the comic book elements of it, like the extremis injections giving you super strength and the stuff like that. So if they had written the comic book elements out and taken that story and taken it out of a superhero setting, this would have been a fantastic movie, because then you wouldn't have this anticipations for the villain based off previously existing material, like you do with the Mandarin. So, terribly missed opportunity. I definitely wish Jon Favreau had been the director, because at least then we would have gotten a faithful to the comics Mandarin, a truly maniacal, diabolical villain. Just a bad guy. I'm honestly, this is going with all superhero movies nowadays. That enough with these morally ambiguous sympathetic villains. Is it too much to ask for just a villain that you really hate? But like you love to hate him. You want to see him get beaten by the hero. Enough with this, like, oh, he was just a good guy, but then there was a tragedy in his life, or he got betrayed by somebody, and that caused him to be evil. Enough of that crap. I want to see a good bad guy, and yeah, so Iron Man 3, it's left a bad taste in my mouth. Again, I'm just going to try and push it out of mine for the rest of the day, and the rest of my life, probably, but the character development for Tony Stark was good. Very interested in seeing where his character goes from here on out, if there's going to be more solo Iron Man movies, which hopefully Shane Black stays the hell away from. Seeing him in the Avengers 2, obviously, he's definitely going to be in that. And also, another thing, is it seems like a really big cop-out that at the end of the movie he just gets the shrapnel removed from his heart by surgery. Wasn't the whole point of it that if they had tried to do surgery to get it out, then it would have killed him? So now they're just like, oh, hey, we can get it out of you by surgery. It really makes Tony look kind of like a dumb butt for the past 5 years, having shrapnel in his heart when at any moment he could have just had surgery to take it out. So that's another thing that just bugged me. So, yeah, Iron Man 3. If you're an Iron Man fan, then this movie will most likely disappoint you very much, like it did me. But, tell me in the comments section below what you guys think. If you like the movie, definitely tell me why, and I will try to see things from your point of view. So, yeah, that's about it, guys. Sorry if this has been kind of a downer video. I just really needed to get a lot of this stuff off my chest. I already feel better just having vented all my dislike for things that they did in this movie. So, thank you guys for watching as always. This is JokerFett, signing out. Bye.